Hi, Elizabeth Clee for Clark's TV 36. I'm here today in the D.P.W yard with Supervisor Scott McCabe, and we're going to have some conversations about fall activities around here, right?
Excellent.
All right, so I thought we would talk a little bit today. You know, the leaves are changing, right? What we're doing about leaf pickup, what about branches, what should be out there, what shouldn't be out there, what do we do if we have stuff that doesn't belong out there? So let's just jump right in.
Lots of questions. I'll give you all the answers. How's that?
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's start with branches.
All right. Branch season is absolutely over.
When does it end?
It ended September. The last week of September. We picked up since the beginning of March, middle of March, right through September. Branch season is absolutely over. We have no room in the yard for branches. We are currently gearing up for leaf season.
What do you mean you have no room for branches in the yard? What does that mean so our viewers understand?
What we wind up doing is twice a year during branch season, we have a company come in and they take all the branches that all the residents have put out, and we grind it into mulch is what we give away. So once we have the mulch in the yard, we cannot fit branches, mulch, and leaves.
Okay.
So we're very limited to spacing.
Okay. All right. So what do I do if I'm a homeowner and I have a few branches that fell off a tree, or I see a couple I need to cut off? What do I do with them now?
The best
Can I
thing,
bring them?
you cannot bring them to the yard.
Okay.
The best thing I say is to break them up or store them whole on the side of your house in the backyard or something. Find somebody that has a fireplace, donate them to the fireplace, and just hold on to them.
Okay. All right. So leaves, obviously, we're going to have a lot of those soon. Some of us already do. What are we doing with leaves?
Right now, leaf season just started. We're hoping going to be out Thursday and Friday of this week to start our first round of pickup. We normally hit 12 to 15 times the whole town. The biggest thing with leaves this year, because our vendor where we take them to is absolutely not allowing any branches in the leaf piles, strictly leaves. Being leaves, just leaves, means if you have branches in your leaf pile, they will not be picked up. You may get a letter on your door, or if you notice that your neighbor's leaves got picked up and yours didn't, don't call town hall. Just look at your pile. If there's contamination, being leaves, plastic bags, plastic flower pots, if there's anything that's in there, it will not be picked up.
Okay. So you just said plastic bags, so that's an interesting thing. So most people in town, when you drive through, they just put their leaves to the curb as is, no bags, no anything, just out there raw. But if I want to put them in bags, you want them in paper bags, right?
Yes, they have to be in biodegradable paper bags. The one nice thing that Clark still does is we do not require people to bag their leaves. They can be put curbside, leave a foot of space between the curb and the leaf pile so the rainwater can flow through or anything else, and we will pick them up. It also helps us leaving the foot separation because of the machinery that we use. This way we don't hit curbs and stuff like that. It gives us a better chance to not do any damage to your personal property.
All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit because we just gave a lot of information. So there's absolutely no more branches. If I have any, I need to keep them on my property until the spring, and then you'll be back to pick them up. Or like you said, donate them to somebody's fire pit or fireplace. All right, and then leaves are going to go out to the curb either as is or in biodegradable bags, and I'm going to try to keep that 1 foot distance between my curb and where the leaf pile starts to allow water to get down to the catch basins, right?
You covered that good.
All right, maybe I need a job in D.P.W next. What do you think?
I'm not a public speaker, I'm sorry.
Okay. So let's go back to the branches though. So you said if they had branches mixed in with their leaves that you guys were going to leave them. And what if someone has branches out on the street now? What's going to happen?
Right now, if you have a pile of branches out in the street, they will be put back up on your front lawn.
Okay, so if I come home from work and find a pile of branches on my front lawn, that's my message that I can't pick these up?
Correct.
Right now, okay.
We actually did a courtesy clean of the town last week.
Oh, so
which
past
is
the date of when it ended.
way past September. We were well into October because so many people put stuff out way after the deadline date.
Okay.
And we try to be courteous to the residents. We took everything out before we started grinding. We are grinding in the yard right now to make fresh mulch,
Okay.
which is available to the residents for free.
That's year round, right?
That's year round.
Okay.
Paper bags for the leaves.
Right.
And just so everybody's aware, we may be spot checking bags for contamination in the bags also.
All right, so they would get left behind. If you open it and find plastic bags in there, you open it up and find other debris or sticks, you're going to leave them.
Correct.
Okay. So, you know, we keep talking about branches, and I think sometimes when people think about branches, they think about branches, right? But you even mean like smaller sticks that they just can't be in the leaf pile, correct?
The vendor does not want any branches.
Right. And
If it's that small of a branch, put it even in your household garbage can.
correct.
Just break it down, put it in a garbage bag. The
Right.
garbage company takes it. It goes down to the incinerator normally.
Right.
Little branch is not going to affect the incinerator.
Okay.
But it will affect the process of getting rid of the leaves.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm going to step on one of your questions, but
Go ahead.
a big thing to the township is if for some reason branches wind up in the leaf pile and the crew does not catch it, and it winds up in the transfer truck, which is a 110-yard truck,
Right.
it goes up to the quarry where we dump. If we dump it and there's a branch in it, the quarry's going to reload the truck, charge the township for reloading the truck, and bring the truck back to the yard, D.P.W, to be separated from any branches. What's going to happen with that, it's going to cost the township tax dollars and a lot of inconvenience, because now we're going to have more material on the ground, because we have to pay for somebody to go through the pile to remove all the branches,
Right.
pay for the reloading up at the quarry or the landfill,
Right.
and pay for the trucking to come back.
Okay,
It's
that is
not
a
an
lot of
expensive
expense.
process.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work. It's funny you said you don't want to step on your question. That's exactly where I was going to go next. I think that's great information for all of us to understand. It's not just about, oh, we don't want them there, or oh, it's just an inconvenience. It is actually one of the rules of the vendor that we work with, and if we break them, we end up paying extra money as a township, which means we're wasting tax dollars on something that we don't need to be if people would just keep them out. I think that's really important information for people to have.
You're correct with that. And also it slows down the leaf pickup, because now all of our employees are out picking up leaves.
Yeah.
So if I have to take a truck or two trucks off the road for manpower to go through the leaf pile,
Correct.
pulling out branches, it's very time consuming. It's 100 yards of leaves that we have to go through to try to find whatever branches that they're complaining about.
Right. I heard you say, I don't want to misquote how many times you said, but that's a lot of times around town in a season. What did you say? How many times you guys go around collecting leaves?
We can actually average between 12 and 15 times.
In a season,
In a
going around and
season.
collecting leaves. That's
from
amazing.
October, we try to have everybody's leaves picked up the week before December 20th. That's the goal. This way, if we get snow or something like that, there's nothing on the streets.
Right.
While we're talking about that,
Right. Ah, yes, I know where you're going.
maybe
Okay.
we sometimes are faster in some areas than others.
Okay.
So the mayor has a program set up for us, wards 1 and 2, then 3 and 4. Sometimes we'll finish wards 1 and 2 on a certain week, and we have enough time to jump into another ward.
Oh, okay.
If you see us there, don't panic that you didn't get your leaves out in time.
Oh.
We will be back.
Right.
Like I said, the schedule calls for 6 pickups. We're doubling that, if not more.
That's awesome.
We also try to have the street sweepers out as often as possible. Sometimes they're not out the first couple of times because it's just not worth it, because the quantity of leaves that are coming down.
Right.
One of the big things I'd like to mention is the basketball nets and soccer nets. The township has an ordinance that there's not supposed to be anything overhanging in the street or in the street. They really need to be removed for the whole entire winter season. We've dealt with them while we're trying to sweep the streets, which hinders us from not getting the street completely clean.
Right.
But during leaf season and snow season, our trucks, the height of our trucks are actually the same exact height as the basketball net, which in turn knocks out the mirrors. If the
Oh, of course.
could take a windshield out. Sometimes if we're working later at night where it's getting dark or dusk, we may not actually see the rim of the net.
Right.
So it's really important to get them off the streets. Also, it makes us clean the streets a lot easier and better, for everybody to.
Right. Well, you were just saying about maybe not seeing them at night, and it will be getting dark earlier, sooner.
Yes.
Soon, rather. I'm imagining that when you are trying to plow in snow conditions, that having those items out on the street, they don't stand a chance, and then you could potentially injure somebody that works here or break a piece of equipment.
Well, I've mentioned that in years past, that it's really important to remove them, not only leaf season but snow season. You know, a lot of times people are very comfortable sleeping in their or in the night's warmth of their house.
Yeah.
But if we're out in the snow, in a blizzard, a snow event, and the snow is coming down, a lot of times you cannot see it.
Right.
It can, don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the mirror is about 7 foot, 8 foot tall, which is about the height of a basketball net.
Right.
It can take out the mirrors. It can come through the windshield first. That can hurt one of our employees, put a truck out of service, not get that area plowed.
Right.
It's bad.
Of course. Of course. That's a lot of information. There's a lot of things that people just sort of take for granted. Oh yeah, my leaves get picked up. Oh yeah, my snow gets plowed. But there's a lot of things that go into it.
It is a very large process. People don't realize the process of the leaves coming into the yard, going out of the yard.
It's more than meets the eye for the average person.
Yes.
And I'm glad you shed some light today on the whys behind some of the rules and ordinances. They make great sense. Is there anything else you want our viewers to know coming into the season? You could throw Christmas trees into that because they're coming up too, I bet, right?
Christmas trees, it starts, don't push the holiday.
I'm not trying to push the holiday, just trying to tell people what to do with their trees when they're done.
Christmas tree pickup usually starts the first week of January, where they can be placed curbside. Preferably not in the street in case we get a snow event or something like that.
Right.
We really need to have the bags off them and no Christmas decorations.
Right.
It really also screws up the process of recycling them.
Okay.
That actually what happens with our grass, our leaves, and our Christmas trees and our branches. They're technically recycled.
Right.
The branches get ground back down to mulch.
Right.
The Christmas trees get ground down. It's all used by machinery that gets damaged to foreign objects that are mixed in with it.
Of course.
The same thing with grass. You know, the town does a great service of picking up grass. It does have to be bagged. This year we had a lot of contaminations in the grass bags. People are putting branches, rocks, dirt. When we take them to the vendor, they're threatening us also to start sending truckloads back because of all the branches that people are sneaking into the bags and stuff like that.
Got it. Got it. All right. Well, that's a lot of good information. Is there anything else you want them to know, or you feel like we got a good wrap up here?
I think we have a good handle on it. We just ask everybody to help us, help them keep our town clean.
Awesome.
And that's what our goal is to do.
Awesome. And then if anyone has any questions, they can always send an email to dpw@rclark.com, right?
Absolutely.
Or phone the DPW department. All that information is on the township's website at www.rclark.com. So any questions, you can find your answers there, or you can find a phone number and call someone.